So today we're going to talk about the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccination in the context of SIRVA, or a shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. Now, typically, if you're going to be receiving the MMR vaccine, you're usually an infant or between the age of 6 months to 11 months. And you'll get about 2 doses at that point. And if you're vaccinated as a child, you don't typically need to get a vaccine later on in life. However, there are certain circumstances where an adult would receive an MMR vaccine. If you did not receive it as a child, or if lab testing showed a lack of immunity to measles, mumps, or rubella. In that circumstance, an adult would receive an MMR vaccine. And then there would be the risk for SIRVA, or shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. Because if the vaccine is administered into the shoulder, there's potential that it could cause inflammation to the tendons, ligaments, or the bursa within the shoulder joint. Now, if this happens to you, what you would experience would be pain in that shoulder within 48 hours of the vaccine. Eventually, you would experience some limited range of motion, maybe some weakness or swelling or tenderness in that area. And these symptoms would persist. They wouldn't go away after a few days or even a couple of weeks. Now, if you are experiencing that or have experienced that, it's important to go see a doctor as soon as possible, not only to get treatment for the injury, but to get properly diagnosed as well. SIRVA is not a diagnosis. What we usually see associated with SIRVA are things like frozen shoulder, adhesive capsulitis, tendinitis or bursitis, and treatment options for these kinds of diagnoses include conservative treatment like physical therapy, cortisone shot injections, or more aggressive treatment like surgery. Now, if this has happened to you, you do have legal options. There's a program called the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, and that's what we do. We file petitions for people in that program who've experienced injuries like SIRVA. Now, there's some basic requirements to the program that have to be met before we can even talk about filing a petition. First, there's a 3-year statute of limitations. So if your injury was more than 3 years ago, then you would be precluded from filing a petition in the program. There's also a requirement called the severity requirement. If your symptoms did not persist for at least 6 months or didn't involve hospitalization and surgery, then you'd be barred from filing a petition in the program. And then finally, you had to have received a covered vaccine. So the MMR vaccine is covered under the program, but there are some vaccinations that aren't covered. So if you contact us with a potential SIRVA injury, what's going to happen first is you're going to go through our intake process and our consultation, which is completely free. And during that process, we're going to confirm a few details about your injury, make sure you meet those basic requirements for filing. And if you do, we'll start collecting all the evidence that we're going to need and drafting your petition. After we file your petition and all the evidence, the claim will make its way through the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. Our goal at the end of the day is to get you as much compensation as possible. And whether we achieve that through a settlement or through litigation, that's what the court system is set up to do. Want to learn more about the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program? In this book, I go into detail about how a claim makes its way through the program from start to finish. If you want a free copy of this book, all you have to do is text VICP to 312-847-2428, and we'll send you a free copy. If you believe you've suffered a vaccine injury, please call us at 312-578-9501 to talk to one of our team members. Consultations are always free.